Hello, my name is Gabriele and I didn't plug the microphone in. Hang on. Okay, right. So I want to ask you a question. Why don't you start? Why don't you start? You have your own dreams, you have your own goals. Why don't you start? Well, I know it's hard, and that's why in this video I would like to give you 4 useful tips on how to get over these first very difficult steps that's keeping you away from your own dreams. Okay, before we start, I would like to give you some presentations, and well, as I said earlier, my name is Gabriele, and well, I know that's gonna happen, so it's Gabriele, it's not Gabriel, it's not Gabriele, Gabriele, but just call me Gabi, that's easier, right? Just call me Gabi, okay. Now, I'm here because I decided to start. And why is that? Well, I have some goals myself. I want to create my own business. I want to become a menu photographer. And I want to be able to do that anywhere in the world. So I want to be able to travel while working. Those are my main goals. And the reasons I decided to open this YouTube channel are mainly because I'm starting from zero and I want to document all this new experience. And I want to share it as well with everyone that might be starting from a same point. So we can help each other, you can get some useful tips, and who knows, maybe you can also start following your own goals and achieving them and getting to, live your life as you wish. This channel is intended for all those millennials, as they like to call us, that are willing to know more about photography, that are willing to know more about travel tips, and that want to create their own business, or they want some suggestions on how to create their own business. And as many millennials and youngsters in general, we tend to have these 3 main traits that define us. We are young, first of all, obviously. We have a lot of ideas, and that's the key. But third, and that's sadly very important as well, we have a ridiculously low budget. Okay. Speaking of low budget tips, today's video is about getting started. And pretty much anything you want. It can be starting to go running every day. It can be start your own business. It can be whatever. Those 4 tips will help you to improve drastically your chances to get starting, get doing stuff. Okay, so the first tip I have for you is to understand what your goals are. That's the most important one, and hang on, let me show you. Okay, we'll need those papers also for later. Right now, the most important thing that I want to tell you is basically that you have to find what are your goals. And for example, my own goals are okay, so this is what my goal look like. And as I said earlier, I want to become a pro photographer. I want to be able to travel at least for 6 months every year. And I want to create my own business, which means financial independence. Those 3 goals took me about 3 years to be figured out. So it might need some time, but once you've decided what your goals are, you can start by connecting them, You can start to check out what connections there are between those goals. And for example, there is a strong link between becoming a pro photographer and creating my own business, because then I know what kind of business I'm looking for. I want to create a business that's related to photography. And there is as well a link that we can find between creating your own business and traveling, because then you will have to focus on what kind of business will allow you to be doing some travels and be able to provide for yourself at the same time. So I need probably a business which is online, some kind of business that I can work with on a PC or on some mobile station. And lastly, the connection between traveling and becoming a pro photographer is that probably one will help the other.
since traveling opens up so many new possibilities and new chances and new encounters. There is so many things that you can learn from traveling, and that can just profit my photography style and my photographic growth. So those are pretty much my goals, and it took me about 3 years to figure out. It will take some time, but once you have this step done, then we can start going to the step number 2.
Okay, so see that is tip number 2.
The second tip is to write down everything. Write down your ideas, write down your project, write down whatever it comes to your mind that might help you in the future. I know sometimes it might be a little bit boring, but it's really important, and it will really help you to clarify what your ideas are, and that will help you to get started as well, because once you know what you want to do and what direction you want to move to achieve your goals, that's where you can find the trust to start. And that's where I did find the trust to start myself, so it might help you as well. Okay, once you found out what your goals are and started writing down your ideas, meanwhile they come during the day, during the night, whatever, just write them down. We can move to tip number 3.
Okay, we're back to the papers, because the third tip is to break down your goals. So for that we'll need some extra papers. Okay, it can work a little bit like this. Let's say we have our final goals that are these ones. What we need to do is to break them in smaller goals. These goals are already easier than the previous ones. And once we found the smaller goals, we can break those goals to smaller tasks. You can keep going with this breakdown process until you find those tasks that you are comfortable with, and then start by completing them. And once you complete those, you can move to the smaller goals, and then finally to the final goals. This way, any goal that's very big and that seems pretty much impossible to achieve at first, it will appear way more approachable and way more doable.
And I know this process might seem a little bit tedious, but trust me, once you write down those tasks, you will notice how easy they are to achieve, and your confidence will have such a great boost. So for the last tip of the video, I kept the one I struggled more with, and that's the one I like to call point, shoot, aim. What I mean by point, shoot, aim is that you don't really have to worry too much about starting, and just do what you can with what you have for now. That will help you to start, because nobody's ever started with full knowledge and with full gear, and nobody has ever started from the top. They all started from the bottom, and the bottom is where everyone starts, and we are all the same. We just need to start. And once you started and you make those mistakes, like it's a beginning mistakes, of course, then you realize where you were wrong, and you can aim better, shoot again, aim better, shoot again, keep going until you reach those goals. That's the most important thing you have to do. And myself, I've been struggling with it, and for example with this YouTube will be totally different in 3 months. I'm sure that I will notice all the mistakes I'm doing now, and then I will be able to correct them and to grow. But if I don't start now, I will never start, and I will never achieve my goals. That's what I want you to understand, and that's what I want you to get from this video. Okay guys, so this video is finishing here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something, and that it will encourage you to start with your own project. I will see you next week with the first format of this channel that will be called Business Update. And please, if you like this video, smash the like button, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram as well, because there will be some nice stuff there. Well, that's it. I'll see you next week. Ciao ciao.